This was the first time where we actually took our Prado completely off-roading. There were no roads anymore. It was basically sands on where we were driving. And it was beautiful. So, hello guys. On this kind of rainy and cloudy day, we're actually talking about an extremely sunny and wonderful topic. This episode is going to be all about Canavieiras. As you guys remember, our last spot that we stayed at was an Airbnb in Porto Seguro. We wanted to stay and find a place for about, let's say, a month or so we can do some work. But we ended up just staying for a few days in Porto Seguro. I think it was 5 days or something like that. The problem was the Airbnb we wanted to initially book was just available for that short time. And then we just ended up saying, okay, let's move on, drive further up north. Now the thing was, we actually had no idea what's gonna happen further up north. So we just kept on driving, and it already got dark. And we heard about this one island where we should definitely go. So we crossed some kind of shady looking bridge. It was really dark at night. And we arrived at some kind of posada. And some lady came to us. We ended up finding out her name is Andrea. She was from Germany. And she's owning this posada, BahiaDomizil. And it was really beautiful. We had different kind of cottages, like little huts where we could live in. And they all had a kitchen and good internet. And it was right across the beach. At first, when we arrived, we told her in the middle of the night, we really just want to stay for one night. But then, once we really saw where we were at the next day, we decided to stay one more night and one more night. We ended up extending for like 3 weeks in total, and we really fell in love with Canavieiras. The island of Canavieiras is really something special. It's 20 kilometers long and it has like a northern and a southern side. The first place where we wanted to go was the southern tip. You literally have to cross through a village of people, and then suddenly you realize that there's less and less houses, and then you're all in nature. This was the first time where we actually took our Prado completely off-roading. There were no roads anymore. It was basically sands on where we were driving. And it was beautiful. You see all kinds of mangroves. You have the mixture of the salt sea and then also some river water coming out from the inland of Brazil. All right. Hello, everyone. So we just off-roaded to this beautiful beach. And that was one of the first times I was able to drive the Prado on the beach itself. So actually these are our tracks down there. And yeah, it's really beautiful here. First I tried to get up here. That didn't work. Then I put it in crawling mode. And then I was able to crawl around the beach a little bit. So it was pretty good. Beautiful sundown. The sun already set. Here we just obviously the only people on the beach. So that's all for it now. And check out that beautiful car one more time. One thing that's very convenient about Canavieiras is that there actually is a little bridge that connects the island with the mainland. And there is a village or a city that is also called Canavieiras. And this city has a lot of better infrastructure, so you could live on an island completely remote from all kinds of people and have a tropical paradise and then get all your provisions and food rations from the village, and that's extremely convenient. So we crossed over the bridge and we discovered some of the colonial style center of Canavieiras city. It's extremely interesting to see that old harbor. They used that harbor for cacao farming. They usually transported those cacao beans to faraway places like Europe or America. And in this case, they took these huge, old school looking ships and they brought them all the way into Canavieiras. Unfortunately, the old town of Canavieiras looks mostly fallen apart, but it's still, some of those buildings look like they're in better shapes now, because some people took it onto them to renovate those buildings and make them into some shops or restaurants or even some places where people can live. So that was it for now for looking at Canavieiras town. The next day we decided to go discover the northern part of the island. What's interesting about Canavieiras is it's actually situated in a natural reserve. So that means the island itself and also lots of land around the city is protected. People are not allowed to build anything big there or destroy nature. When we made our way to the northern tip, we also noticed that there were a lot of horses running around just freely on the island. Many of the local people that are living on the island, they just let their horses roam free and get them whenever they need them. We took our car off to the beach and drove all the way to the northern tip. It's a fantastic cool place. And we took Prado out on that beach and you can see that right now. So generally people might ask if we're insane. We are actually by the beach with the car, and we are aware that the car could totally rust away after this. Our reasoning for this was it's kind of cool, you know, to drive the car in the water, have it splash and do some cool drone shots, and yeah, we did that. That was really nice. Don't do what we're doing. This all is probably a really bad idea. We basically gonna go straight to a car wash after this. So far, I would say the car has been pretty amazing. Now we also got some salt water inside the car because we obviously left that one up there open. What do you think? Was this a great idea?
Yeah, it was awesome.
So, my dear friends, look at this. We are at a beach. We actually just drove this car off-road, well, obviously to get here, but on the beach. You probably saw the footage of me going crazy, doing some rings, I don't know, just turning around the car, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. This another beautiful, beautiful place. So if we had not rented that bungalow, I think this would be the perfect place to go camping. There is no one here. It took us like 15 minutes, 20 minutes off-roading to, you know, far away from the other people on this island. Ellie is walking around here. She seems to sink in.
Sand is so soft.
In the soft sand. And I'm walking on a part where it's like so hard that there's actually nothing happening here to my shoes. So maybe we could even drive here, but I don't know, I wouldn't want to get stuck with the car in sand. I feel like that would be kind of terrible. So you guys can see it was clearly a wonderful place, and that's why just after taking out the car on the beach, we thought the next best thing is taking some of those horses. What we did, we connected with Felix. He's the Swiss owner of Cani Resort, and he offers horseback riding on the beach. And it was fantastic. For the whole afternoon, we took out one horse each. We had a really great time. Check it out.
Wow, that was so amazing. Wow. On the beach, this water at the sunset, really great.
Canavieiras had so much to offer. After just a few weeks, we met a lot of very interesting people on the island. One of them was German expat Pitt. His life philosophy will always stay in our hearts. Alexandra even did an interview with him. It was just wonderful to see how this guy has been an expat for over 15-20 years and lived in Latin America. First in Uruguay and then here in Brazil. If you guys need any information about Brazilian immigration, he's the guy. So if you ever have any questions for Pitt, go directly to Pitt's interview on Alexandra's channel. We started living with Pitt because he also has some kind of small hotel in downtown Canavieiras, and we stayed there for a couple of days. While we were there, we showed him some of the beautiful shots we did with our drone on the beach. He was really amazed. So he asked us for a favor. He wanted to have a couple of these drone shots for his own property, so people can see those nice properties, and he was thinking about building something like an ecological village or, you know, make Canavieiras more interesting to people altogether. So we said yes, and I started my drone and we flew around the island. It was beautiful. Now what happened next was completely unbelievable to us. Pitt was so excited about those drone shots that he started talking to everyone about them. People were just interested in having their own places, their own properties filmed from above. So suddenly, out of a small hobby, this whole drone thing started to grow into a business. Pitt also showed us his farmland. He had some nice, kind of grown over farm property further inland in Brazil, in Bahia itself. And you could do whatever you want there. Now this kind of inspired us because you could start, live off the land and be self-sufficient. And for us, this really meant a lot. Especially in these unstable times right now, it's probably a good idea to have something like this as a backup plan. One of the very interesting people we met in Canavieiras was Miquele. She is a acai store owner. She has actually multiple stores and takes care of them all by herself. She's a very interesting person. We had really cool conversations with her, and that acai is one of the best in town. In Canavieiras, we also met Dieter and Teddy, both people that we met through Pitt when we were doing the drone shots. Both of them had some really nice property. Dieter, for example, has a resort called Angra Villas, and we took some really nice shots there. Another person that we met in downtown Canavieiras was the Swiss businessman Christian and his son Anthony. Now Christian was actually in charge in renovating downtown Canavieiras and make some of those old buildings look very pretty and new again. Also he has an event house has a restaurant and he's renting out some of that business property in Canavieiras. Anthony is running one of those restaurants and it is delicious. It's one of the best food in town. Now, for the first time in Latin America, something really nice is happening here in Canavieiras. We started to feel almost like we're home. We were really happy that Canavieiras made us feel that way. And it seemed like something that we wanted to explore for longer. Now, the problem was we just had 3 months stay in Brazil itself. So after the 3 months, we were supposed to leave the country and go back to Paraguay. So we had a little bit of a dilemma, but we needed to make it work. So before leaving Brazil, we wanted to see a couple more things. And that's why we decided to leave Canavieiras and go further north. If you want to know more about our adventures in Canavieiras, Alexandra made a picturesque hotel review of all of our favorite places around Bahia. As for our drone videos, check out the link in the description and connect with us to get your own drone flyover. Check out in the next episode and see how fast our plans can actually change. Go here to subscribe to this channel and then click here to see the next episode. I can't wait to show it to you. And I'll see you then. See you then, next video. Bye-bye.